B. Nagesh, retired Additional Secretary, and Team IAS Network. With today's discussion, we are doing a unit on environment in General Studies 3. As we discussed in the earlier videos, GS3 consists of economy, agriculture, science, technology, environment, internal security, disaster management. So, questions on science, technology, environment fetch around 70 to 75 marks every year. So, today's topic for discussion, Project Dolphin. The Gangetic dolphin, see the question for discussion. The Gangetic dolphin is at the top of the food chain. Protecting the species and its habitat will ensure conservation of aquatic life. So, a discussion on this question we will do with an introduction, facts about the Gangetic dolphin, initiatives taken by the government for its conservation. Project Dolphin was launched on the lines of Project Tiger to protect and conserve the Gangetic dolphin. This scheme is implemented by the Ministry of Environment and Forests. A brief facts about the Gangetic dolphin. The Gangetic dolphin is one of the 5 species of river dolphins. They are found in the Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers and tributaries in India, Bangladesh, and Nepal. Construction of dams, barrages, and increasing population have resulted in a decline in its population. Government estimates put the surviving Gangetic dolphin at between 2,500 to 3,000. The International Union for Conservation of Nature describes the Gangetic dolphin as endangered. So this is a brief introduction to the question, which you have to answer in 150 words. Coming to the government initiatives. In 1986, the government included the Gangetic dolphin in the first schedule of the Wildlife Protection Act. So what are the implications of including the Gangetic dolphin in the first schedule of the Wildlife Protection Act? It prevents hunting and promotes conservation. The first step taken by the government was establishing a conservatory for the Gangetic dolphin at Vikramashila in Bihar. The second initiative taken by the government is a conservation plan for 2010-20, a 10-year action plan. Now this 10-year action plan identifies the threats to the Gangetic dolphin. It analyzes the impact of river traffic and construction of irrigation canals on the dolphin population. Then it suggests measures to prevent their decline, and it suggests steps for conservation. In 2009, the Gangetic dolphin was designated as the national aquatic animal. October 5th is celebrated as the National Ganga River Dolphin Day. So when you discuss an answer for this question, the question says, protecting the species and its habitat will ensure conservation of aquatic life, because the Gangetic dolphin is at the top of the food chain. For an answer on this particular question, you stress, with a brief introduction, you stress on the government initiatives. That has to be given a lot of importance in the answer, how government has taken action to include it in the Wildlife Protection Act. So the very fact that wildlife, it is included in the first schedule, makes the hunting of the Gangetic dolphin a cognizable offense and it is punishable. So it will deter the poachers and hunters. The second thing, you stress on the conservation plan for 2010-2020. Now, what does the conservation plan do? It speaks of threats and it speaks of the impact of river traffic and irrigation canals on the dolphin population and how the population has to be conserved. The third initiative promoted by the government is designating it as a national aquatic animal in 2009. In fact, October 5th is celebrated every year as the National Ganga River Dolphin Day. Apart from these government initiatives, you can list the following measures to show how protecting the species and its habitat will ensure conservation of aquatic life. First important thing would be, if you conserve the dolphin, it will help in controlling river pollution. So it is river pollution which has affected the fundamental food of the Gangetic dolphin, and this can be controlled by controlling river pollution. The second thing would be empowering local communities which dependent on sustainable fisheries. So empowering the local communities. The third, river-based occupations. River-based occupations which offer livelihood through scientifically oriented fisheries. Then undertaking farming with assured marketing of produce at a predetermined price. So these are the additional steps which you can mention as measures for protecting the species and the habitat. So this will be the brief discussion on the Project Dolphin in General Studies 3 Environment. So how the answer has to be structured, as we discussed earlier. The examiner is not interested in knowing about what you know about the Gangetic dolphin. You may have read you may have lot of information with you, but you structure the information, whatever you have, to you make it tailor-made to the question. That is, the question is specific, protecting the species and its habitat. So protecting the species and its habitat, you give importance to the government initiatives, what government has taken, what government initiatives have happened, and as a result of which the dolphin is protected, and the protection of the habitat. You stress on the conservation plan for 2010-20. Apart from the government initiatives, you also speak of other initiatives like controlling the river pollution. In fact, here when we talk about river pollution, you can also speak of the initiatives of the National Green Tribunal. As I told you, the National Green Tribunal was set up due to the liberal interpretation of the Supreme Court of Article 21, which speaks of right to life and liberty. So the right to life and liberty also includes right to clean environment. Here you can also mention the efforts of the National Green Tribunal, which has played a dominant part in cleaning or controlling river pollution. Apart from the steps taken to control river pollution, you also mention how the local communities which are dependent on fisheries, how they should have a sustainable livelihood. River-based occupations are to be protected, and how they can market their produce at a predetermined price. So this will help the community, the fishing community, which is located in the place where the fishing community, as I told you, located in the Ganga Brahmaputra riverine valleys and the sub-tributaries flowing in India, Bangladesh, and Nepal. So the fishing community has to be protected. Sustainable livelihood. So this will go side by side with their protection, the improvement in livelihoods, and indirectly it will also help in conservation of aquatic life. For the reading material for this particular question, as I said, go through the annual yearbook of the MOEF. It is easily downloadable. Also go through uh, important website relating to environment. It is called downtoearth.org. This contains a lot of information. For a general reading, it is good. You can supplement the points which we have discussed by visiting these two sources. So this sums up the discussion we've had on Project Dolphin General Studies Paper 3. Thank you.